The age-old question. If God is all-powerful, why did Jesus have to die for God to forgive sins? For this question to be answered properly, we need to understand the nature of God. The Bible explains that God is a God of justice, and as a God who upholds justice, he has to punish sin. And what is the punishment for sin, you might ask? Ezekiel 18:20 explains that the soul who sins shall die. And Romans 6:23 confirms that statement with this phrase, the wages of sin is death. So for God to be just, the person guilty of sin has to die. But here's the dilemma. The Bible also explains that God is a God of love. So God, for lack of a better word, was in a bit of a pickle. He has to save the sinner and at the same time punish sin. God was in the courtroom as judge, Satan as the accuser, you and I as the defendants. And as a just God, we had to be sentenced to death by the standards of the law because the wages of sin is death. So God appointed an advocate to represent us, the guilty. Then comes the man, Jesus, God's incarnate, God in flesh. He became our advocate and the suitable sacrifice. It's like someone who gets into a collision with another car. The man at fault has to pay for damages. His apology won't fix the car, but there comes the father of the man at fault to the scene. He takes responsibility for the collision, pays in full for the damages, and his son gets to go free. Jesus took the punishment for sin to prove God's love for humanity and at the same time proving God's justice against the sin nature.